Oh, here we go. Now we finally got it. What the hell? Welcome to this very special edition of Wednesday Night Mayhem. Before we get into the wrestling, I want to take a brief moment to talk about today's hockey game between the Boston Bruins and the Carolina Hurricanes. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference playoffs. And oh my goodness. Okay, 5 overtimes when Tampa versus Columbus was insane. The Bruins and the Hurricanes was like, oh, all right, that was great. Hold my beer. Well, they held it all right. It didn't go 5. We got 2. But finally, we can say it. The Bruins beat the Hurricanes. They win Game 1 of the series, the best of 7 series, 4-3, double OT. Oh my god. Alright, here we go. It started in the first period as it was Joel Edmondson getting the goal. Teodor Teravainen and Sebastian Aho with the assist at 13:02. Then the Bruins got on the board as it was David Pastrnak. It was time to serve some pasta in Toronto. Pastrnak with the goal. Marchand and Bergeron gets the assist at 17:45. That made it a 1-1 game. Then in the second period, very kooky moment in the game. Puck starts going all over the place. Looked like it was a slap of the pads, whatever. Charlie Coyle gets it, puts it in the back of the net. That gave the Bruins a 2-1 lead. Carolina's like, wait a minute, no, this ain't fair. We gotta cry foul on this. First off, they were saying illegal hand pass. Second off, they thought that Peter Mrazek got his hand on the puck in time, then got slashed out of the hand, and that led to Coyle getting the goal. Referees and the boys in Toronto, they looked at it, they're like, nope, we saw nothing illegal. Not only is it a good goal, but because it was a challenge, that's an automatic delay of game. That's a 2-minute penalty. So the Bruins were on the power play. You're thinking, oh, this is great. You know, you get the power play. You're in advantage. You're thinking everything's good? Yeah, right. Brad McGinn gets a short-handed goal. That gives the Bruins a 2-2 tie. And you're thinking, what on earth? What the heck? Okay. Third period goes. 59 seconds into the third, David Krejci puts it in the back of the net. Corey Cruz and Charlie McAvoy with the assist. 59 seconds in, Bruins up 3-2. Well, halfway through the period, Henry Fleury scores the goal as it was Trocheck with the assist. So that made it 3-3. We go to the third. It ends regulation. First overtime, nothing. Second overtime, Patrice Bergeron puts the game away. A minute 13. Give the assist to David Pastrnak. Give the assist to Brad Marchand. Bruins win the game. 4-3 in double overtime. Shots on goal total. Bruins 40. Carolina Hurricanes 28. The Bruins won 43 faceoffs, was 0-for-4 on the power play, hit 32 times, shot 40. Carolina Hurricanes won 34 of the faceoffs, was 0-for-3 on the power play, but they were the more aggressive team, 51 hits and saved 28. Give credit to Tuukka Rask. 25 saves. Peter Mrazek had 36 saves, and our 3 stars of the game was number 3, David Pastrnak. Number 2 was Joel Edmondson. Number 1 star, Patrice Bergeron with the game-winning goal. Michael Bullock, man alive, holy cow! Your boys did it. The Bees got the win. The first win since going to the bubble. Big win for the Bruins.
Yeah, like you definitely said, this was definitely a big win for the Bruins. I mean, they basically went into the bubble at the beginning with the round robin with an offer, and well, we had to wait an extra day to finally play a playoff game, and for the Bruins and their fans, it was well worth the wait. And yeah, the Charlie Coyle goal was definitely questionable, but obviously the NHL, the refs looked at it. They deemed it was nothing illegal. Well, it was after the game. The coach, Rod Brindamore, he said some things criticizing the league and the officials.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
And I found out earlier tonight. Well, let's just say his mouth got him in some trouble. He ended up getting a $25,000 fine from the league for criticizing them. So yeah, that's $25,000 coming out of his wallet. So yeah, definitely a big time win, and obviously from one of the mainstays of the Bruins, Patrice Bergeron, with the game-winning goal in double overtime, and they don't have a lot of time to celebrate, because they're going to be right back at it tomorrow night for game 2 of the series. And the question is now, there has been talks, Fletch, that there's a chance that maybe the backup goalie, Yaroslav Halak, could get the start because of everything that's transpired. Especially the game going into double overtime and having to play back-to-back games. So Bruce Cassidy hasn't said anything. I'm sure we'll find out more once we get close to the game tomorrow. But definitely a huge win to start off the Stanley Cup playoffs for the Bruins. So all I could say is, Fletch, it was definitely well worth the wait.
Yes, absolutely. And like you said, tomorrow they're gonna have to do a quick turnaround. Tomorrow night we will have Game 2 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals, as it will be the Boston Bruins going up against the Carolina Hurricanes. And man, if Carolina was not, Carolina's hopping mad. Bruins, you better be prepared, boys, because I think they feel like they got slighted on this one. They feel like they got absolutely robbed today in this game, and they're definitely holding that fire and everything else. So if they felt like the NHL was ganging up on them, if they felt like the NHL basically kind of rigged the game to the advantage of the Boston Bruins, like how everybody's yelling about how the Rangers got how the draft was rigged for the Rangers to get the #1 overall pick. I know Carolina, they're going to be hopping mad, and they're going to want a piece of Boston. So Boston, get ready, because you might see Aho, you might see Teravainen, you might see them boys try to pull the bully hockey that they try to do against the Rangers. They out-hit you guys. They muscled you, but you finessed them to a Game 1 win. All right. With that said, we're going to switch gears right now. Welcome to Wednesday Night Mayhem. Anthony Florio, thank you for joining the party as well. And let's get it on AEW Dynamite. We started off as we had was Evil Uno and Stu Grayson representing the Dark Order versus the Young Bucks. Young Bucks wins the match in 13:09. Solid fight, good match. I'll give this about 3.25 stars. I liked the match. I thought it was a very good body of work, how everything played out. I really got nothing more to add. So, Anthony Florio, come on in, brother. Give me your thoughts on the first fight of the night for AEW.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. Definitely a solid way to start things off this evening. And, yeah, I agree with the rating. I'll give it about 3 to 3.25 stars myself. The Dark Order has been clicking lately. And this might have been one of Grayson and Uno's strongest showings to date, even if they did lose in the end. They kept up with one of the premier tag teams in AEW and the world. The match was just the right length and allowed all four men to get in some good offense. The only major criticism would be how much interference happened on the Dark Order side, only for them to lose. If they were going to use that many dirty tactics, they should have won. But nonetheless, solid way to start. 3 to 3.25 stars. I agree 100% with MF's rating. So, Phenom, Michael Bolick, your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely a 3 to 3.25 star match. Definitely a great way to start off this edition of AEW. So, yeah, the Young Bucks, I mean, they continue to look good, but even the Dark Order, I mean, they continue to be on a roll as of late. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to add to it. So, Fletch, let's move on.
All right, we're going to go right into the next match of the night, even though there was a very pretty good promo by MJF, but I'm going to save Michael Bullock the heat and him going all nuclear on us. Cody Rhodes put in the TNT title, the now fully minted TNT Championship. It's done. It's complete. It looks a lot better than it did about a few months ago. So he went up against Scorpio Sky. Cody Rhodes wins the match in 11 minutes and 39 seconds. But there was one other thing we need to talk about. The referee for this match. Now, I know you guys love Danilo and Fabio on WWE. But the referee who refereed this match is my boy, Mike Chioda. Yeah, former senior official of WWE has gone all elite now. He's... Whoa. Okay. That's a first. Alright, I was about to toss it to Anthony Florio, and he just booted himself off. What the heck? Must be a connection issue. Hopefully that's a connection issue. Alright, and then I guess, Mike Bullock, I'm going to give it to you, bro.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, Mike Chioda now in All Elite Wrestling after all these years in WWE. So, you know, it's so good to see him back on his feet, because obviously he was one of the guys laid off because of the pandemic, but it's good to see him back as a referee, even though it's with another company. So, as far as the match goes, I thought it was another good match. I'll give it about 3.5 stars. I mean, yeah, I mean, Cody once again makes someone look good, especially with these open challenges for the TNT title, and that TNT title certainly looks really good now that it's officially finished, and you can actually see a little bling from it now, and all I can say is, Fletch, come next week, he's definitely going to have, Cody's going to have his biggest challenge to date when he defends that TNT championship against the leader of the Dark Order, Mr. Brody Lee. So, and he cut a little promo at the end with the saying that he plans on taking that new look TNT title and giving the old, and after he beats Cody, he plans on giving the old one back to him. So this is going to be a tough challenge for Cody come next week. So I really got nothing more to say. So Fletch, I mean, he holds on to the title here, but he's got a real big challenge for him next week, which is actually going to be on a Saturday.
Yes, it is. Because of the TNT playoffs and because of the NBA playoffs coming up on TNT, they're gonna be moving and shaking the show around, which actually is bad for us because this puts us in a sticky situation. Because now we gotta figure out how we're gonna work our schedule around. So this is gonna get a little chaotic next week, guys. So now without a doubt. This was a 3.5 star match. This was a solid fight. Cody looked good. Scorpio Sky looked really good. But yeah, like you said, Brody Lee is going to be one major challenge for Cody, and that TNT title is definitely in danger next week. Any other time we're thinking, no, don't worry about it. Cody's going to win it easily. This time around, Cody's going to have a fight on his hands. So we'll see. Next up we had was Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus Adam Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. And when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout was the tag team champions, Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. And I'm going to say another solid match. I'm going to say another 3.5 star battle. I gotta say, this was really good, high energy. There was a little bit some not so great moments in the match. I can't completely say it was 1000% perfect. There was some mess ups along the way, but it was solid for what it was worth. Nothing more to add. Mike Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, you said 3.5 stars, right, Fletch?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. It was definitely a 3.5 star match. I mean, yeah, I mean, you basically pretty much touched on everything. So, we got Florio back. So, Fletch, can you?
Yeah, I got to catch him up. Anthony, we started it. Well, actually, the only other match you got to talk about was you got to talk about the Cody versus Scorpio Sky for the TNT title.
How did you guys rate it?
We went about 3. We went about 3.5.
That's about right. I mean, let me find my notes here. I do apologize, folks. Got kicked out for no reason, but you know, it is what it is. But anyways, it shouldn't surprise anyone that this was a solid performance from both competitors. It would have been cooler to see Scorpio Sky win the title, but he still looked good in defeat. Was this the best match they could have put on? Probably not, but that leaves the door open for them to tear the house down in a rematch down the road. Mr. Brody Lee appearing to challenge Cody at the end of the bout was a weird way to end this. They should have saved that for a later segment, while the ending of this bout focused solely on Sky's reaction to losing. So that's all there is to say on that. 3.5 stars. I definitely agree with the rating. So this was a great show, no doubt about it. So
Anthony, and I want to get your quick thoughts because we just went on this one as well. Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. We said 3.5. We said 3.5, but I'm starting to lean more 3 3/4. I'm 3 3.25 to 3.5. What says you?
I got to say 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. I mean, Omega and Page are a good team, but this bout made Jurassic Express look like the more cohesive duo, even if they ended up losing in the end. Marco Stunt's involvement could have been scaled back, but everything else about this contest worked. It was fun without being too one-sided. Kenny Omega slowly turning heel has been fun to watch, but at some point, AEW has to pull the trigger and have him either turn or make the decision to remain a babyface. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy winning would have been an incredible moment, but it would be even better if it happened on a pay-per-view once fans are able to attend again. So 3.5, 3 3/4 of a star. I'm caught up. Let's move on.
All right, and then the next match that we had, well, there was a whole bunch of other segments over here, so we're just going to blow by this. We had Heather Monroe versus Haru Shida. Haru Shida wins the match in 2 minutes. We're not going to get into that. Then we had was the main event, which was Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy, one-on-one. Le Champion takes a dive tonight. Freshly squeezed oranges for everybody. Orange Cassidy with a huge upset win over Chris Jericho in 12 minutes and 56 seconds. Anthony Florio, you lead off.
What was the time of the fall again?
12:56.
Yeah, this was another 3.5 star match. And Mike Chioda, so nice we got to see him twice. And I pointed this out to everybody in our Wrestling Forum Messenger chat there. And yeah, I mean, what a nice surprise to see Mike Chioda, a man who, you know, was once upon a time the senior official in WWE. He became the senior official in WWE in 2005 after Earl Hebner got let go. But and he remained that way up until, you know, the very end, right around last year or so. But great to see Mike Chioda back. I mean, we all know his iconic counting style, and of course when he would yell out "2," yeah, and Bullock knows all about that from past SmackDown chats we've had with matches he's refereed. But anyways, definitely great to see him back, and that's all there is to say on that. This was another 3.5 or so star match. The character of Orange Cassidy is finally starting to become a fully formed gimmick instead of a one-note punchline, and it has been entertaining to watch. Seeing him own Jericho in the Super Wednesday debate last week was great, but this match is what a lot of people have been waiting for. Seeing Cassidy finally care about something enough to put 100% into it made it worth the wait. Jericho is the perfect antagonist because he understands that it is his job to get Cassidy over. Jericho already has the respect of the crowd, and he is using that to make Orange Cassidy a bigger star. This was a good main event, but with the high expectations AEW set last week, it felt just shy of being great. I think their first match was a little better. And each man has won one. Don't be surprised if we get a rubber match going into the All Out event on September the 5th. So don't be surprised on that. So, and MF, you remember last week, we made the bold prediction. We both agreed that Orange Cassidy was going to win this match, and lo and behold, he did. So, no big surprise on that. So, 3.5 or so stars on this one. So, nothing more to say on this. So, Michael Bullock, Orange Cassidy evens the score. He does not owe Jericho $7,000 for that jacket. So, what do you say? Rubber match at All Out? What do you think?
I'm calling for a rubber match at All Out. That's what I'm saying here. So, yeah, this was definitely a 3.5 star match. I mean, their first bout was, to me, like you said, was just a smidget better. So, yeah, I mean, it was great to see Orange Cassidy definitely get a big win here. So, yeah, there's really nothing more for me to add to it. So, Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, what a match. What a moment for them, too. Congratulations, Orange Cassidy. Big win for him. 3.5 stars. Nothing really more to add. So, Mike Bullock, very quickly, your thoughts on AEW tonight.
Yeah, I thought it was a good show. I mean, we had some quality matches here that we saw. I mean, one match obviously was obviously not good. The women's match. So definitely we're starting to see some things come together for the All Out pay-per-view. So yeah, there's really nothing more to add. Fletch, yours.
Total agreement. I thought this was a very good show. This was, I thought, was really well done. I really got nothing more to add. I think if you were giving a rating, maybe about 7, 8, somewhere in that range. Anthony, it's yours.
Agreed. Let's see here. That's about right. That's about where I was in the ballpark where I had it. You know, we only had one bad match on this show, which ended up being that the Hikaru Shida bout, the win over Heather Monroe, who apparently is well known in the independent circuit. But anyways, this was a great show. I mean, you know, I mean, all the matches were good. I mean, we only had one so-so match. I mean, some good storyline progression. Jericho, I mean, or I should say Orange Cassidy, you know, getting the biggest win of his young career. And I'll tell you what, folks, here's the thing. Next week, we're not going to have AEW Dynamite on Wednesday night, next Wednesday night. Next Wednesday night, it's all about NXT. So, which is only fitting because it is the go-home show for TakeOver 30. But the next time we're going to see AEW Dynamite won't be until Saturday night, August 22nd, 6 o'clock Eastern, and the second hour of that will go head-to-head with TakeOver 30. We're going to see Cody defend the AEW TNT title against Brody Lee. The finals of the Women's Tag Team Cup Tournament. FTR, they're going to be squaring off against the Private Party. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks will square off against 3 members of the Dark Order, Alex Reynolds, John Silver, and Alan Angels. Lucha Brothers, Butcher and the Blade against Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, QT Marshall, and Dustin Rhodes in an 8-man. And then you got Darby Allin, who's going to be in action as well. So that all goes down Saturday, August 22nd. Tentatively scheduled for 6 p.m. or immediately following the NBA playoff game that's going to be airing that day. So keep a close eye on that DVR if you have to. I think we're all going to be probably doing that because I know we're going to be all going to be invested in TakeOver 30. The build to which continued tonight on NXT, and good old MF Michael Fletcher is going to set the table for that right about now as we get into the latest installment of NXT. And on NXT tonight, I want to give a big shout out to my boy Vic Joseph, who's now on the broadcast team. About damn time. Great announcer. Loved him on 205. Loved him when he was on Raw. Great to have him on NXT, and I'm damn glad he's finally getting an opportunity. Well deserved. Good job, brother.
Yeah, Vic Joseph is on NXT now, and we started the night off with Karrion Kross versus Danny Burch, and Karrion Kross stops him in 3 minutes and 57 seconds. Basically, straight up domination. There's really nothing more to add, Anthony. This is just Karrion Kross showing Keith Lee what could be in his future at NXT TakeOver 30.
Well, there is one thing we need to address. I mean, obviously not the match because, it was a short match. But what does need to be addressed, though, Keith Lee. Keith Lee coming out. But I'll say this. I'll give a brief thought on the match. It was a fine but unspectacular opener. Kross is good at destroying everyone in his path. However, even hype matches against experienced opponents feel like squashes. He needs to get to his contest with Lee to truly show what he can do. And that fireball spot was awkward and silly. Despite NXT lingering on how the Limitless One had been blinded, it just didn't feel as frightening as the Black and Gold brand sold it to be. But at least the contract is finally signed for the obvious TakeOver 30 main event. It is now official, folks. It will be the Limitless Keith Lee defending the NXT Championship against Karrion Kross. And where Karrion Kross goes, the smoke show Scarlett Bordeaux is right behind. So watch out for that game. Oh, watch out. So really all I can say on that. So it would probably be about 1 to 1.5 for that effort for the match. But Mr. Bullock, you got your main event. No big surprise on what it is. So what are your first thoughts on it?
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a very interesting match here. I mean, some people think that maybe Karrion Kross is ready to become the next NXT champion because of how he's been built. But to me, and I'm going to be quite honest here, I think it would be too soon to take the NXT title off of Keith Lee. I mean, he just won it weeks ago at the Great American Bash. So yeah, I'm already making a prediction. I'm going with Keith Lee to retain. But somehow I would not be surprised if Karrion Kross becomes the new champion. And of course, because he does have that X Factor in Scarlett, but Karrion Kross definitely got the upper hand tonight, especially with what was supposed to be the contract signing, and let's just say Scarlett left a little surprise with a fireball, and it certainly brought back some memories for me, and not so good ones. When it comes to a fireball, and especially a segment that happened back in 1997, if you know where I'm going with it.
Undertaker, Kane.
No. It was leading up to the Undertaker Mankind match at the In Your House event.
Oh, okay.
Remember when we thought Paul Bearer and the Undertaker were going to reunite, and it was all a ruse, and JR with the old fire in the eyes, fire in the eyes.
Oh yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty gruesome sight, but you know, we're gonna have to see how this plays out. But one thing's for sure, like you guys said, the contract has been signed. It is official. It's going down in about a couple of weeks, live on the WWE Network, NXT 30. All right. So next up, we had was Drake Maverick versus Killian Dane. And the match got thrown out at 5 minutes and 20 seconds because UE showed up, the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole and his boys. They were pissed. They were hot. And Adam Cole was looking for McAfee. Pat McAfee was a wanted man. And we all know why he was a wanted man after the despicable act he did last week on that show, punting Adam Cole, literally punting his head off. So nothing more to add. Anthony Florio,
Yes,
you want to talk about fire and passion, and you want to talk about somebody who was hopping mad. Adam Cole was hopping mad tonight,
as all of us are, and I'll tell you what. I mean, boy, howdy! I mean, I could go into my heel commentator mode and actually have a lot of fun with this, and oh boy, I mean, Bullock and I could have a Corey Graves, Byron Saxton type thing here, considering what's going on here. I mean, Bullock is the diehard NXT guy, you know, and I think this is going to be maybe the one and only time he's actually going to root for Adam Cole to defend the brand. And of course, me being the heel, I mean, I could have a lot of fun and say I'm actually digging McAfee there, but that's as a heel commentator, not as this. But I'll tell you what, I mean, that was a well done promo there by Adam Cole. I mean, you know, the last couple of weeks, I mean, has been incredible ever since this whole thing started on Pat McAfee's radio show, where Adam Cole was dropping all those F-bombs and shoving that producer, and, you know, and then what McAfee did on the show last week, you know, with that Randy Orton-like punt. But everything else, though, everything else was poorly delivered on all fronts. Maverick and Dane fought mostly in split screen, where either Keith Lee's injury or commercials were a larger focus. When the show got back to the action, the Undisputed Era quickly ended any hope of a true complete match between those two. And while it makes sense for Cole to be angry, having him interrupt the match and beat down stars with no connection to him, I hate to say it, but that was a little bit of some sloppy storytelling there. It would have been better for everyone involved if UE simply ignored the match or waited until after the match to storm the ring. But that's all I can say on that. That's my only little criticism about it. So, and it is official. We will see it at TakeOver 30, Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee, or as I'm going to call him here, not just in the eyes of Michael Bullock, but in the eyes of NXT as a brand altogether, Pat McAfee is public enemy number one. And there's no question about it. I mean, Michael Bullock is an NXT guy through and through. We all know that. And I know he's going to have a major vested interest in the entire show from top to bottom. Every match on the card, he's going to be all over it. But Bullock, I know out of all the matches on this card, this is the one match you are going to have the most vested interest in. Because I know, because we've seen it in the messenger chats. You have been very vocal. You have been dropping a lot of F-bombs and all this other stuff on Pat McAfee. It's no secret that I think this might be the only time that you might be that I know you're actually rooting for Adam Cole to defend your brand.
Oh, I am wholeheartedly rooting for Adam Cole after the disrespectful remarks by Pat McAfee, that pretty boy douchebag. I mean, he had the nerve and the audacity to come out and say that that NXT sucks. No, the only thing that sucks is you, Pat McAfee. I mean, yeah, how many championships have you won in your entire life? Let me. Oh yeah, that's right. Zero. Absolutely nothing. And Adam Cole had the historic run of being the longest reigning NXT champion ever. So don't come in and make yourself look like you think you're the biggest thing out there, because as far as I'm concerned, you're not. And I hope that Adam Cole wipes the floor with you and beats the holy hell out of you, because you deserve every damn bit of that beating, you piece of shit. Fletch, it's yours. I'm done with this guy.
Okay. Yeah, that happened. Well, look, I'm gonna
Rating,
say
that equals ratings right there.
it did. It did. I'm just gonna say, as far as the match goes, it's a throwout. It's an NA. We don't need to talk about that. McAfee versus Cole is gonna be one of those sleeper fights of the evening. It's not gonna be the fight of the night. It's gonna be a sleeper match. But the question that I'm wondering is that we know McAfee's not a wrestler. He isn't. He's living the life right now. He just got married, boys. So he's living it out. He's in his honeymoon with his lovely wife. And the boys are holding the fort down in Indianapolis while they're doing the show. And now McAfee is really poking the bear literally on Adam Cole. Now the question I'm wondering is, obviously, if Adam Cole wins the match, this is a big win. It's NXT. He defends the honor. Everything else. What happens if McAfee wins? What happens if
You want to know what happens? You want to know what happens if McAfee wins?
Yes.
Michael Bullock is going to lose his damn mind. He's going to lose his SHIT, folks. Simple as that.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. And we might have to batten down the hatches, and somebody might need to. I might need to crawl under a table and duck for cover, because if Bullet goes in kaboom, who knows what could happen in this building. So, I mean, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. All we know is that NXT 30 can't come soon enough. We'll say that. All right. So, with that said, next up we had was Cruiserweight Champion Santos Escobar versus Tyler Breeze, non-title match. And Santos Escobar wins the match in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. So, Michael Bullock, I believe you lead off on this one, so give me a quick thought.
Yeah, I'll give a quick thought on the match. I mean, yeah, I'll give it about maybe 1 star for the effort here. I mean, yeah, I don't know where they're going with this. I mean, especially with all the craziness that we saw with Fandango coming out, and then of course Isaiah Scott, and yeah, so who knows where they're going with this? So Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, it was a placement match. It was kind of a cool down, because after the McAfee and Cole segment, it was pretty red hot. So easy to cool it down. It was an alright match. Nothing to really speak of. Anthony, it's yours.
2 stars for the effort. Escobar and Breeze brought more wrestling to the night, but a lack of time and focus let them down. The majority of the match was worked during the commercial break. Tyler Breeze barely got to do anything as he was beat down, then suddenly hit the supermodel kick to force Wild and Mendoza to run down. Swerve versus Escobar should be better. Hopefully, this one gets a takeover spotlight, though that has not typically been NXT's practice. For whatever reason, the cruiserweight division usually is kept to only the USA Network or even 205 Live. I would love to see Swerve and Escobar battle for the cruiserweight titles. I would love to see that at Takeover 30, but we'll have to wait and see on that. So, 2 stars, move on.
All right, and then we was Mia Yim going one-on-one with Indy Hartwell. Mia Yim wins the match via submission. All right, here's the thing. I think this was really good storytelling more than anything else, because of the fact that if you were watching the match, Mia looked off. She did not look like her heart was in the match. And she had a very good reason why. Her boyfriend, who is the NXT champion, Keith Lee, earlier in the night got fireballed. So, I mean, I honestly have to say it like this. Anthony, if your lady friend knows that you got firebombed or fireballed in the face, I don't think her heart's going to be in a match. Okay. Bullock, the same way. If she's wrestling in a match and she knows in the back of her mind that you got firebombed, her heart's not going to be in it. Not at all. I totally agree with the premises. I liked the story that they told is that Indy Hartwell had a shot at this, but Mia, she drowned it out for the minute, was able to focus enough to win the match, but you could tell her heart, her everything was not in that match. If it was any other time, you're thinking, whoa, but I think this was the right way to do it. This was the right way to handle it. I really got nothing bad to say. I thought it was fine for the storytelling, but this was not really anything long of a match, so I'll give this a no rating, but this was a solid segment. Anthony, it's yours.
What was the time of that match?
I actually got no time.
No time, huh?
Nope.
Okay. While the setup was awkward as Yim left with the lead but came back for an expected squash, this was the best wrestling on the night so far. Hartwell is showing promise with every opportunity, and Yim gave her time to shine while telling a story in the ring. It might have made more sense for Yim to lose here if there is any plan for Indy Hartwell to go anywhere soon. Mia Yim clearly distracted with no clear direction at the moment. It would have been a better story if Hartwell bragged about beating her for a few weeks. But I'm actually going to put a rating on this. I'm actually going to give this about 2 to 2.5 stars for the effort. So this was a lot better of a match than MF made it out to be. I enjoyed this match thoroughly myself. So, Michael Bullock, what do you say?
Yeah, I'll give it 2 stars for the effort. I mean, it was definitely a much better match than what I expected, and definitely told a story. I mean, especially with Mia Yim basically trying to focus on the match rather than what's going on with Keith Lee. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Let's just move on, Fletch.
Then we had a Be a Man fight. Damian Priest one-on-one with Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed wins the match in 7 minutes 51 seconds, and I believe Anthony, you lead off on this one.
To this point, this was the fight of the night, but it ends up being the second best fight of the night because there's another match that ended up stealing the damn show here. I'm going to give this a solid 3 stars for the effort. This was a fun big man battle. The back and forth action focused on the power of Reed versus the impressive kicks of Priest. Both fought hard and kept the action moving. It was a great showcase and solid preview for what they can bring to the ladder match. Finally, the Auszilla is building momentum. He has a ton of talent and brings a unique presence to NXT. And if his momentum continues all the way to TakeOver, guys, he will be the best option to win the NXT North American Championship. So this guy is slowly becoming my pick to win the NXT North American Championship. Of course, 9 nights from now on the August 21st edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, when we review the Go Home to SmackDown edition of SummerSlam and preview TakeOver 30 and SummerSlam all in one show, which is going to be an incredible show, and I'm already looking forward to it. But if I had to, put a pick in right now, my gut's telling me to go with Bronson Reed. So, Michael Bullock, you based on what we saw tonight, you might be looking at your next North American champion. Think about it.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 3 stars for the effort here. I mean, but definitely, I mean, after what we saw from Bronson Reed, I mean, you could definitely say that he could definitely be a sleeper pick to become the new NXT North American champion. So we'll definitely wait and see on that. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, no, this is definitely 3 stars for the rating. Really nothing more to add, so we're just going to move right on along, guys. Next up we have was Mercedes Martinez and Aaliyah versus Kaden Carter and Casey Catanzaro. Mercedes Martinez and Aaliyah wins the match for the Robert Stone brand at 4 minutes and 18 seconds. Bullock, do you want to talk about this? Do you guys want to get into this, or should we just move on to the main event? I guess with no comment, we'll go right into the main event.
Well, MF, I do want to make one quick observation here when it comes to this match. Aaliyah, I love you. You know how much I love her. One of the most naturally beautiful women you'll ever see. But she slowed the action in about too much. But Mercedes Martinez worked well with both high flyers. And Martinez could have some great matches with Catanzaro and Carter with time and no breaks for Aaliyah. What matters most is the future for the latest member of the Robert Stone brand. Martinez and Rhea Ripley is a takeover bout waiting to happen, and it should happen at TakeOver 30. If it does not, it should not be wasted on a random episode of NXT, but saved for the next big show. That's my quick observation. Now let's go to the main event.
All right, and it was a triple threat match. This was to earn the spot for the ladder match. For the North American title, it was Kushida, Velveteen Dream, and Cameron Grimes. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 8 minutes and 52 seconds was Cameron Grimes. He goes on, and so I'm just going to say it. This was a very good match, a 3.5-star main event. I really got nothing bad to say. This was a big win for Cameron Grimes. I kind of feel like that was a great moment for him. Then, after the match was over, as many of you guys know, Velveteen Dream just absolutely lost his mind, attacked Kushida, looked like he's going heel, and now they've just announced that as a second match, Velveteen Dream qualifies for a match against Finn Balor next week as a second chance. Balor versus Dream. Whoa! Now that's interesting. We'll see how this plays out. Anthony, it's yours.
And let's not forget the other second chance qualifying match. Johnny Gargano is going to square up against Ridge Holland. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
That's going to be something. We'll address next week's go-home edition of NXT in just a moment, but there's no question about it. This was hands down the fight of the night. This was a solid 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. After some expectation that Velveteen Dream was gone for good after recent accusations reported by WrestlingInc.com's Mark Middleton, very reliable source, by the way, it looks like he is back and in the spotlight again. Hopefully this comes after WWE looked into the situation and confirmed Dream's innocence. As great as the match was, the triple threat felt rushed, but the talent involved did what they could in the main event. Kushida especially maximized his minutes. However, this was not his night. It is surprising that of all 3 men, Cameron Grimes picks up the win. He's gotten multiple title opportunities and failed. Kushida, I felt, was better suited for this ladder match. But however, this might be the chance for the Technical Savage to prove his talent fully. Now, MF and I know Cameron Grimes from his days in TNA Impact Wrestling when he was known as Trevor Lee, where he was a multi-time X Division champion down there. So, no question about it. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. This was the fight of the night for me, even though it did feel a little rushed, but I'm not complaining. So, really nothing more to say. And Michael Bullock, I say it on the show a lot. I'm going to do it again here. Biggest win to date for Cameron Grimes, but it could lead to an even bigger win at TakeOver 30.
Yeah, definitely a big win for Cameron Grimes. 3.5 stars. I mean, yeah, it definitely could lead for bigger and better things. I mean, I thought Kushida, when I heard this match was going to go down, it was going to be the favorite, but yeah, Cameron Grimes now has a chance at something really big. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, there's really nothing more to add. This was a great way to close the show. Anthony Florio, you lead off. Final thoughts on NXT.
As they say, as you hear at the end of Weezer's video of Buddy Holly, that was not so good, Al. I gotta say AEW won the night on this one. But anywho, let me see here. What did I have here? We didn't have many good matches. I mean, that main event match was good, though. I mean, I will say that. We had a few NAs in there. Solid cruiserweight match with Escobar and Breeze. I mean, that was one of the standouts. Reed and Priest, that to me was the second best fight of the night. And but this one though, I gotta say that was the slight fight of the night here. There wasn't anything that stood out this week, unlike Rhea Ripley and Dakota Kai last week. It did do a lot with vignettes and such to build towards TakeOver. Few solid matches to make this a relatively somewhat easy watch here, but at the end of the day, I have to say AEW won it this time around. And but there's nothing to worry about, folks, because for next week, NXT does not have to worry about AEW. It's going to be all about TakeOver. I mean, it's going to be all about NXT next week, next Wednesday night, because as you know, AEW Dynamite has been bumped to Saturday the 22nd. So there will be no AEW Dynamite next Wednesday. It'll be all about NXT. And Johnny Gargano versus Rich Holland, Finn Balor versus the Velveteen Dream in those 2 second chance qualifiers. Legado del Fantasma will square off against Isaiah Swerve Scott and Breezango in a 6-man tag team matchup. And of course, the segment that I know Michael Bullock's going to be having the most vested interest in, the face-to-face segment with Adam Cole and Pat McAfee. So if I had to put a number on this, I would have to say about 6.5 at the best. So sorry, Bullock. I mean, the show was solid, but not overly spectacular. Sorry, man.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, the show, like you said, it was solid but unspectacular this week. I mean, AEW definitely won the week here. So, yeah, next week they're not going to have to worry about any competition because they're going to have the floor to themselves next Wednesday night. So, and especially with this being the go-home to TakeOver 30 edition, I expect some big things coming out of it next week. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, pretty good show. Really nothing. It was an okay show. Really nothing more to add. And guys, we're done for the night. Holy cow, what a night it's been. Tomorrow night, well, it's the big one. Not only will we cover Game 2 of the series between Carolina and Boston, but we're going to talk about all of the NHL playoff action. We got that. We got a preview of that. We got a preview of the NBA playoffs. That's right. Strictly Sports is back. And we're going to be back in a huge way. So this is what we're going to do. I was thinking 9:30, 10 o'clock, fellas. More 9:30-ish. Is that all right?
That's more than fine with me.
Because it's going to be a lot.
Fine with me.
All right, so we'll do it. 9:30 Eastern time tomorrow night. Anthony Florio, as always, the host. And we're going to get into the NHL playoffs. we're going to get into the NBA. And then once the Bruins game is over, we'll talk about the game. And Anthony, you could chime in on that as well, because I know you said that once in a rare while, if we get the opportunity to get you, we'll utilize you. We'll use you for tomorrow, because this might be the perfect time to get in. So 9:30 tomorrow night, we'll get into it. Thank you, Anthony Flayo. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Thank you, everybody. As always, like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share it with all your friends on all the social media platforms. As always, have a good night. So long for now, and we will see you tomorrow night.